Today we're visiting learning trajectories. So a learning trajectory is a path from students' existing knowledge to some particular learning goal. And it's a very distinct concept that we need to have an overarching learning goal. And then you have this set of, I think of them as partial epiphany, different things that they learn along the way that if they learn all of them, then you can consider them understanding the entire concept. But piecing out, like, what are the individual things you have to learn and what's some reasonable order in which you could use those and what are the dependencies between them. That's what a learning trajectory is. So it turns out that theories about learning influence that shape. So a learning progression, which is not exactly the same as a learning trajectory, a learning progression is largely linear and has a lot of dependencies in the original theories about learning progressions. And then the second thing you're reading about is this idea of pieces of knowledge. And this is really about order and whether the order is really as strict as learning progressions said and what influences those orders. So if we think of something from a pieces of knowledge perspective, we try really hard to break these dependencies and say, well, what could be done in any order? And then sort of separate questions are what influence, if there's no strict dependency, then what would influence those orders? So piece of knowledge isn't only about breaking dependencies, it's also about other issues involved in ordering. Okay? And then finally, you can design something to be a spiral curriculum, which means to revisit the same things over and over again, but in greater depth. And so if you view something like that, then you might have cycles where the first time you go through, it's very basic, and then you revisit some of the same things, but at a more complex level, and eventually you get to a robust understanding of the concept. But you could have a simplistic understanding of the concept even after going through level 1. All right, so that's it for today.